If you hate SMART goals as much as I do, then I created this video for you. In fact, I created this framework for you because after 20 years working in the health and fitness industry and working through a bunch of different goal frameworks, I finally found one that was simple, effective, and made sense. It didn't just tell me how to set my goals, it told me who I needed to be in order to live those goals. And that's crucial. So a little bit of a background on this. The goals framework is called a DENT Goals. Called a DENT Goals? Well, yeah, I guess in a way, but the DENT Goals. Now, I came up with this goal setting framework when I was reading a book, and it wasn't even like a personal development book per se. It was a marketing book by a guy called Daniel Priestley. And in that book, he went and spoke about how any successful business needs to be a campaign-driven enterprise. And what that meant is that it had three main campaigns. It had a yearly message. They ran quarterly campaigns, which could be events or similar, and then they had a perfect repeatable week. And so that was their marketing campaign strategy. And I know it's not groundbreaking, but I was like, that's a really simple framework for goal setting, like breaking it down like that. But I felt like it was missing something. And so I ended up adding in one more thing, which was a daily thing. And what that gave me was a yearly, quarterly, weekly, and a daily, I guess, target to be able to write out and set so that I could draw out my year and go, how can I map out my year to the day in like 20 minutes? So this DENT Goals framework is profound for many reasons. I've used it since creating it last year. I've used it with like hundreds of clients and strangers about that, like still relatively early on, and everyone's had amazing success with it. And genuinely, they've great feedback even 6 months later. So I'm going to share this framework with you. It's really, really simple. You could probably even do it on this call. You could at least mentally step through these on this call, but otherwise you can literally put 20 minutes aside, do 5 minutes per letter, and you can have your next 12 months mapped out in 20 minutes. Like that simple. You can definitely put more time to it. You can absolutely give yourself closer to like 90 minutes for it. And if you do that, you'll probably have a more thorough breakdown of exactly where you want to go, and more importantly, why, and more importantly than that, who you need to be able to get there. But the 12 months can be done as simple as 20 minutes. So let's get to it. Now, quick one. This video is part of my Boss Fit 30 program. All the videos are free. Even all the blogs on this, on my Substack, is free. You can access them at any time. If you want more support, the playbook, the workbook, all that sort of stuff, you can find a link in the description below. You can jump into the Boss Fit 30 for lifetime access for $97. So up to you. Either use this for free and enjoy. Otherwise, if you're on the workbook, playbook, and do it with me, jump in that group. Let's get back to the video. So DENT Goals is really simple. We have, by the way, this is my first time doing top down. I know I'm not as successful as Hormozy yet, but it feels a little bit like that. So we have our DENT Goals, D-E-N-T. Now what's really interesting with our DENT Goals is we actually do them in reverse. So we actually go, what is our theme for the year? Then we have our 90-day campaigns. We have 4 of these. And I actually run them in each quarter of the year. Now, funnily enough, my birthday is on the 1st of January, so the first quarter is literally January to the end of March, and so on and so on and so forth. I would encourage you to do the exact same thing. Just run them off the quarters of the year. It's significantly easier. If you really want to do it a bit different, you could run them off the seasons of the year, because that runs a month different. But either way, I would highly recommend whatever you choose, keep it consistent. I like the quarters of the year, probably because I own a business, so there's actually like quarterly tax payments I've got to do, like all that sort of stuff. But 90-day campaigns helps me map out a year really, really easy when I map it with the actual quarters of the year. So 90-day campaigns. You then have your every week, or otherwise known as your perfect repeatable week. And so these are the 3 things here that I got from Daniel Priestley. Now, the reason why I ended up calling them DENT Goals was because one of his main businesses called DENT Global. So it was a bit of a tip of the hat to him. So thank you very much. But what they were missing was your daily default. These are the 4 things. Keep in mind, 90 days has 4 things. These are the 4 things you need to do to be able to have your next 12 months sorted and done, ready, like finished, complete, mapped out. I actually have mine up on the wall here. In fact, I'm going to drop the DENT Goals worksheet in the link below as well, so you can just download that and use it if you want. But either way, let's walk through this and talk through this. You've got your theme for the year. Now, your theme for the year, what I want you to do, I want you to think to a year's time. So we just finished the end of financial year here. I'm going to use that as the example. End of financial year in 2025. So you would think ahead 12 months to the end of next financial year. And I want you to think about if you had everything that you wanted there, like, you know, it's sort of, I give this rocking chair analogy. Let's use that. You're sitting in your rocking chair in 12 months time, and I want you to map out and have a look at your life. Like, what does your bank account look like? What does your friendship circle look like? What does your relationship look like? You know, are there kids there? What's your career like? What's your health like? How are you breathing? How are you thinking? Like literally put yourself in that position and have a look at your whole life. And I want you to think about that life there. And if you were to go from that life to now, and that you successfully made it to that stage, what would you call that year? If that year was like a chapter. Now, I mentioned before, my birthday is 1st of January. So when I do this at the start of the year, I actually go, well, for example, this year I'm 36. So I was chapter 36. And for me, this year, chapter 36 was about being world class. And what that means is that to get to where I wanted to get to at the end of the year and look back, it's like, well, it means I was world class. So that was the theme and overarching. Now, what's interesting with your theme is that it can be an era. So this is the era of X, era of no, era of all in, era of live different, whatever. Or it could be a chapter. Or it could be a season. So you could go, this is the season of X. This is a season of slow. This is whatever it might be, motherhood, you name it. But either way, you want to have an overarching theme. I like the idea of a chapter because it's like my life is a book. And if I was to think about where I was going to be at 37 looking backwards, what would I call the chapter of 36? So feel free to do something similar. So this here, what's interesting with your theme is that it's actually subjective and it's more of a resolution, right? Because it's hard to actually go, that theme is something that I succeed at. It's more about going, that's what I would name this era of my life if I was looking back after being successful and achieving what I wanted to achieve. Which means that when we go to our 90 days, we actually have 4 of these campaigns, but we've got to start with the last one in 12 months time. So you go back to your rocking chair and you think about a few dot points of how you would explain that stage of your life, like how are you standing, how are you breathing, how do you move, how do you talk to yourself, what are the relationships you have like, what's your bank account like, where are you living, all of these things. And I want you to think about, you just write like a little paragraph of what your life is like there. But you got to imagine yourself in it. That's going to be important. I'm going to explain why later on. You got to imagine yourself in that life. Now, the reason why that's so important is because you need to be able to go, can I actually achieve that or not? Because with our 90-day campaigns, these actually become objective or like KPI driven, and they become more goals. These are resolutions, same with the daily default. These 2 here are goals because you can measure it. And so once you've got your dream outline, your rocking chair example, you go to and you write that down for your 4th quarter. You then go, for me to achieve what I want to achieve at the end of the 12 months, where do I need to be at the end of 9 months? For me to achieve what I want to achieve at the end of 9 months, where do I need to be at the end of 6 months? For me to achieve what I need to achieve at 6 months, where do I need to be at 3 months? And so you're literally reverse engineering this whole thing, right? You're just reverse engineering where you want to be in 4 quarters time. And so now you've got your theme, right? Let's call it live different, right? You go, I want a different way of being. And so it means that when I catch myself living a particular way, I'm going to be like, hang on a sec, that's going to get me the same old results. I need to actually choose something different. And then given that, I've got an idea of I'm going to be at my house with my family, with another, for me, maybe another kid in the bun in the oven, with a breakthrough year in business and so on and so forth. And then where do I need to be at 9 months time to achieve that, 6 months time to achieve that? Like, what are the key markers, the key checkpoints that allow you to know that you achieve that goal? So now we've got a theme, we've got our 90-day campaigns. Now you need to go through, and I want you to think about 3 to 5 things that you need to do every single week that if you did would lead to your 1st quarter success. And so this is your every week, right? Your perfect repeatable week. And this is objective. It needs to be something that you can do, that you would do, that would allow you to achieve your goals. And so the benefit of this is that you need to be able to go, are these things, like they still need to be relatively low friction, but they need to be high leverage. And the importance of that is, it only has to be 3. You only have like literally 3 to 5, but 3 key things that like are main levers for you to be able to shift into where you want to be. It's not even about goal setting, about going, I'm in a bad position, I want to be in a good position. It's like, no, I want to continue to unfold and continue to learn what I'm capable of and push myself. And so this is where you're going, okay, maybe I'm doing 3 strength sessions a week, and I'm going to do 2 recoveries, whether that's like a swim and some sort of sauna of sorts or a yoga at home. I'm going to do that. That's my 3 and 2, I'm going to call it my ratio, and I'm going to hit those each week. I'm going to aim for a journal as well, and I'm going to reach out to one person business-wise that I don't know to introduce myself every single week. Whatever it might be, but you need to write down what your every week is, your perfect repeatable week. Keep in mind, this is perfect repeatable week, not your perfect week, not your current week. Things that you can repeat, that if you did repeat would be significantly beneficial for you to be able to get to where you want to get to. Now we have theme for the year, 4 90-day campaigns, your perfect repeatable week. Now it comes to your daily default, and this is the kicker. This is where your SMART goals don't do this. A bunch of other goals, they do not go through this part, but this is crucial because this is all like what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. This is who. This is what so many goals frameworks miss. Who do you need to be able to be the person that doesn't just achieve this, but actually owns it? They live it. That's a part of their way of being. And this is really important. This isn't about going and completely shape-shifting who you are. What it is going, how do I need to show up every single day in order to be able to achieve the things that I want to achieve? To be the person to do those 3 to 5 things, right? I call this your energetic signature. And the reason why I call it your energetic signature is because you need to own your future energetically before you own it in reality. It's not like when I achieve this thing here, then I will change. It's like, no, I change and then I achieve this thing. And so you have to look at your mind, body, emotional. This is your state, right? Your mind, body, emotional, call it an energy field for the sake of saying that you've got energy. Your mind, body, emotional, energy field, that is your state, that is your habituated, that is your personality structure. But you need to be able to look at this and leverage this and go, given what I want to achieve, who do I need to be? How do I need to show up every single day to be able to achieve that? And you want to be able to sort of sit here and, similar to how we gave the theme like a live different name in this example, you want to give this a title as well, right? Title. And it could be anything from empowered king to compassionate lioness. Like, I know these can be sort of abstract, but this is the point. This is yours. This is subjective. It is abstract. It's like, I'm going this direction, and when I catch myself going back to old behaviors and old ways of being, I grab that and go, hang on a sec, that's my old default. I got a new default that I want to lean into, and it needs to be energetic and compassionate and open and welcoming and trusting of self, trusting of others, whatever it might be for you. But you want to have a think about what is your daily default. Now, when you look at this, now we've got your theme for the year, your 4 90-day campaigns, you've got your perfect repeatable week, and who you need to be able to show up, to be able to do that every single week. So the key thing with this is that you should be able to draw a line like I have here, down and up. You should be able to go, if I show up like this every day and do these things every single week, will I achieve those things or give myself the best chance of achieving those things through each quarter? And therefore, looking back, would that be this theme for the year? Team, that is the DENT Goals framework. It is super simple. It is super compact. I absolutely love it. I use it with every single one of my clients. It is yours to run with and use. I hope you get as much value out of this as I do, as well as all of the people that I work with as well. If you want to learn more of this sort of stuff, you can always find out how to work with me and my business, BossFit. Otherwise, take this information, run with it, teach it. Remember, to teach is to learn twice. That's me done. I'm out. Until next time, peace and pizza. I'll see you soon.